Okay, so our first topic, companies and corporations all over the world are making drastic changes to their aesthetic, but how much of their infrastructure are they changing? Now we talked about Uncle Ben being a real person whose logo is being removed. Similar with the Cream of Wheat logo and Aunt Jemima. Now, the family of Aunt Jemima is filing a motion to stop the elimination of the logo. In 2014, they filed a multi-billion-dollar
Wait, to stop them from taking it down.
It's a real person.
Okay, got you.
To stop the removal of the logo. In 2014, they filed a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against Quaker Oats and PepsiCo, and they lost with prejudice. And I never knew the difference of with prejudice and without prejudice, but with prejudice means they cannot refile. So they lost, it's over. Don't ask us again.
I was just going to say if Fact Checker Rage was here, I'd be like, Fact Checker Rage, what does with prejudice mean? Could you look that up, please?
With prejudice.
But you went ahead, you already went ahead with your own due diligence.
I got Rage. I got him ready.
Respect. Thank you.
So the question is, are we being emotional with unintended consequences? Are we erasing history? Gentlemen, would you care to weigh in?
Are you talking about the Aunt Jemima one, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we touched on it before.
Well,
but, the family.
Well, I think in general, not just Aunt Jemima. I think we're talking about in general. Are there unintended consequences to this emotional response to taking, just erasing all of this shit, like trying to change shit real quick because motherfuckers is mad right now,
it happened because they decided to go to the products because it's like white folks are trying to clean up their act because they see that a lot of shit is going down. They're tearing down statues. Black people are knocking people the fuck out in the streets. We're actually angry finally, like real anger. It's like real anger. We're talking about defunding the police. So the companies are like, oh shit, Aunt Jemima, change it. God damn it. Get rid of the Aunt Jemima and all of those. And if you look at the old Aunt Jemima pictures, they were slave and they were mockery. They made them look like clowns. They made them look like pickaninnies. You know what I mean? And those symbols, back then, white folks made us look like they made us look like pickaninnies on a lot of products. Even in Europe, a lot of food products were sold with blackface characters, blackface servants. So my thing with the Aunt Jemima thing, okay, it's a real person. If it's a black family getting money, you have to change the image. It's branding. Companies brand it to where it looks like it's decent. It doesn't look so slave-like. Aunt Jemima sounds like slave shit. Uncle Ben's sounds like some slave shit. How can we change it to make it look dignified? Air Jordan doesn't sound like slave shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's got to be a way if it's that black family getting money, we can rebrand it with a black person on it, but you don't have to make it look slave and servitude like.
Mm-hmm. Here's a better idea. Why are you going out of your way to fuck changing the logo? How about get those people their money?
Right. Well, here's what I wanted to touch on. So yes, like you said, they're changing logos, but what do they do policy wise? Like within the company, how many black executives do they have?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
How do they treat their black employees? And first of all, I don't even really like saying this word black anymore because it's kind of it's some shit like we gotta like.
What do we use?
Original, maybe, or
what do
original.
we use?
Let's this black thing. We gotta. That's a whole next thing. But for original people, I'm gonna say original right now. Let's just say original people. So, Like, how do they pay? What's the pay structure for original people? You see what I'm saying? Like, are they getting benefits and all of that? Like the average workers and all that type of shit. Could they be doing better in those fronts as opposed to, you know what I mean? Or are they just milking them and making them work mad hours for the least that they can fucking pay them and all this type of shit? You see what I'm saying?
Melanated. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments.
Melanated. Yes, there we go. Melanated. Let's go with melanated. But I don't. Black is actually a negative connotation. Like, and we got to stop calling. And first of all, this is all another subject, but that's why Black people ain't gonna get no reparations, because there is no Black people. Like, there is no land of Black. Like you have to have a place that you come from and all of that you could trace yourself to even think about getting reparations. So we as melanated people have to understand that we are the natives of this whole planet Earth and show and prove that we are part of the land and all that to even think about getting reparations. But that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that in
Did you hear about, also, as far as white folks trying to clean up their act to get us to not protest the way we should be protesting? Yeah, they're going to be singing the NFL's going to have us singing the the African American national anthem. They'll lift every voice and sing before the games. They are so desperate. They're going to sing a James Weldon Johnson song, which white folks don't even know.
Right. And that's gonna be funny. They're gonna be they're gonna be mumbling like they know.
They're gonna be like, lift every voice and sing, let the freedom ring. What
they're gonna be looking around trying to see. Like,
can we get a remix?
What Tyrone is saying. Like,
yeah, lift every voice.
What is LeBron? Let me see what LeBron. Okay.
You know what it's gonna be like? It's going to be like in the Olympics, you know, when another country wins a gold, you got to hear their national anthem. You be like, what the fuck is that? You know, when like Yugoslavia, motherfucker be up there, be like, dum, da, dum, da. You're like, what?
So
you got to sit there and take that shit.
So I also wanted to touch on though what we were talking about as far as the unintended consequences of all this emotional shit. For instance, the tearing down of the statues and all of that, okay? Like, I get it. You know what I mean? You don't want to see these Confederate statues and all this type of shit. It's hurtful and all that type of shit. But at what point are we erasing history to where the future will forget that it even happened? Thus making it possible to happen again. Or pretend like it never happened. Thus creating a state to where it can happen again, you know, or exactly you whitewash it so much to the point where, what are you talking about? So we never did anything to you. You know what I mean? Like, there's no evidence of that. Like, because everybody got hyped up and wanted to rip the shit down or whatever the case may be. We have to think about things like that. You know what I mean?
It's like
that certain monuments are there to remind you of what happened, not always as a, you know, to big up, but to remind you of what happened as a reminder. So I'm just saying.
Well, Jews don't have Hitler statues up. You know, the Ashkenazis don't have Hitler, but them motherfuckers will let you know. They got every other week.
But you know about that damn Holocaust.
But they remind you through documentaries. They remind you through posters, and they celebrate it. So what it takes for us is to be like, hey guys, we have this Confederate week. We talk about
well, they control the media to the point where they're gonna make sure that you know about it.
Yeah, because we know, you know, it's like the civil rights stuff. They show footage. Yeah, fuck them statues, because a lot of these, especially these Southern motherfuckers, they be like, they go, yeah, that's right. That's why the statue's up there, because you there. Fuck that. Take that fucking thing down. You know what I mean? Or if you're gonna do that, you put up a black statue that was like, well, this guy did this, but this guy tried to fight against that. Be fair with it then. But other than that, it takes us to remind motherfuckers this is never gonna happen again. Everything is up to us, man. It's up to us doing that shit. The black politicians, all the legislators got to go, nah, we're gonna make sure that this town remembers, like Alabama, Mississippi, they remember what has happened. Like with the NASCAR, that Confederate flag shit, fuck no. Take that shit off, man. Fuck all that.
And for the record, that looked like a motherfucking noose to me. I don't know what the fuck.
It was a noose.
The NASCAR news.
Yeah,
huh?
talking about
Bubba Wallace.
And the NASCAR noose. I like how it has a name.
The NASCAR news.
Yeah. And they're gonna say, they said it's a pull rope, and the fact that it's been there. Oh no, that's been there since for months or some shit. Motherfucker, that shit could have been, I don't care how long that shit been there. Y'all probably got nooses around, you know what I mean? Like as decoration, because y'all some racist motherfuckers. And that's the decoration of a racist. Like that doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? That wasn't some foul shit. Like who the fuck ties some shit, any knot other than a fucking noose like that?
Yeah.
If you wanna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. The devil, you'll look at some shit and be like, this is what it is, and the devil will be like, nah, that's not what you seeing. That's not what you seeing.
And why
you
is
seeing something else?
And why is there a noose? Why you got a noose, man?
The sun is 93 million miles away. It's not right there.
Speaking of things that have been in your face that you are not aware of, and this is actually this almost is a did you know? Houston, Texas will no longer refer to the biggest bedroom in the house as the master bedroom. Did you, like all your life, the biggest bedroom in the house has been referred to as the master bedroom.
Damn.
I had no idea that
master's bedroom.
See, you know what's so funny? It's like
slave term. That's a slavery term.
It's like they're changing things though that some motherfuckers wasn't even thinking about.
Right.
Like I wasn't even necessarily thinking about the master bedroom. You know what? That's some shit that need to change. But they keep calling it the master.
But what's great is we should just let white people just keep letting us know what the real shit was. Like, oh, what are you changing now?